So traders, the ticking time bomb is almost about to get started. So almost time to set that watch. Let's get into it, guys. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders. So let's get into the markets today. And I want to show you about what the ticking time bomb is all about and why we might have to start setting our watches. We'll probably have to set them right now, right? But I'm going to show you exactly when we should start to set our watches for the ticking time bomb for the next recession in the economy. And I've got an indicator to share with you what that's all about. Let's have a look at the markets here right now. So the S&P 500 today, guys, pretty much a nothing day today across the markets. You can see it actually gapped up a little bit, came down, pretty much a nothing day across the markets today. What we're really seeing here right now, guys, is really just, I believe something is about to hit the market that's going to send the S&P to the downside. The really big thing that I'm noticing right now is that there's a big divergence between what? The Dow Jones, which is this guy right here, and the S&P 500. Look at the Dow Jones actually ran up, made a new high, and then we actually had what? And then we had a drop to the downside, didn't we? So we had this drop to the downside, but look at this here. That's what's happening there, isn't it? So, but the S&P 500 has done what? The S&P 500 has absolutely done nothing, right? It's broke up to the upside. It's actually just went sideways. And now we're just hovering around here right now. So the thing that I'm looking at right now is this, is that do we start to get some sort of down bar like this here in the markets? Because if we do get something like that, that's going to be a breaking of two major levels in the markets here, right? This one right here. And then we also have this one right here as well too, right? So we're seeing that through there. Resistance, and now a breakdown from there. Makes sense? So this is the big key area that I'm actually watching for on the S&P 500 to see what's going on from there. But looking back now on the Dow Jones, I actually expect, guys, the Dow Jones to pretty much stay where it is right now, but just continue this sideways momentum. Now, Trump and the whole election and what's been happening right now, guys, is going to create some serious volatility. I believe the markets are not going to do too much for the next few months, but then we pick it back up again over the next few months. Then we pick it back up again, probably around the August period, I believe. Maybe June, July is going to be quiet, but then around that August, September period, I believe we're going to start to really pick things up again when it comes to volatility. And I think there's going to be some really incredible moves. I think over the next month or two, there's going to be a lot of pullbacks, a lot of drops, a lot of setups for another really big move to come. And that's what I see happening probably over the next couple of months right now. And so that's the Dow Jones from there. Let's go look at the actual Nasdaq as well too. And the Nasdaq is really strong here. The Nasdaq's holding quite strong. Look at this here. Look at this here. Isn't this amazing? Look at this. It's just amazing how this works, right? So we see all this resistance all through here, right? And then the market comes up and then it just sort of just holds all through here as well, right? And this is where we find the support level through there. The big key level for me, once again, is like same for what? The S&P 500, right? So if the market does something like that, then we're that and the S&P, then we're possibly going to start to see a move back down towards the lows here. And that's pretty much remember, that's what the Dow Jones did, right? Look at this here. What happened? Broke up. And then when it comes all the way down to almost, it's probably going to get down the next few days of this low through here. So that's a big key level I'm watching for there, guys. The gold market as well. Once again, the same for the gold market. I believe all markets, the everything pullback and the ticking time bomb is happening. And the ticking time bomb I'm going to get to in just a minute. Now, the gold market here, as you can see, gold market had a move up and a pullback and another move up and a pullback from here, right? And so I believe we're probably likely to stay in this level through here. But if we do get a drop down through here, it's probably going to be very short-lived. So I wouldn't be short in gold right now, but I believe gold is possibly setting up. And if I'm looking at maybe some levels where the gold's going to pull back to, let's bring up this weekly chart here. you can see that generally when we get pretty far away from the 24, we actually get pretty close to it. So I would have to say that, yeah, right. Yeah, I would have to possibly say, guys, just looking at this market here now, if we get the 24 to start picking up through here, like that through there, or something like that, then I believe we're going to have maybe, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe, I reckon maybe 1 to 2 months right over there, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8 weeks, right? Before we start to see another move to the upside. I do see another big move to the upside. In fact, guys, what I see coming with the inflation that's coming, I believe, in the second half of this decade, I believe it's got to really, 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 really push gold to a whole new level in there for when it comes to that level. So that's what I'm saying there when it comes to the gold market. And that's the same for the silver market as well too, guys. Silver market just sideways. Again, we're actually in really big bull markets across all these markets here. So what we're experiencing right now, even on the Dow Jones and gold and all that sort of stuff, and we're probably likely to experience it in the mining sector as well too, like such thing as like the GDX. I believe we're likely to start to see this thing come down through here. This everything drop is actually, to me, is just a pullback. Now remember, guys, a pullback is against the underlying trend, right? So this everything drop is actually a setup for what I believe is going to be another really big move to the upside. So the everything drop, then get around the election time, maybe, what's that, August, September, October, that sort of, and then everything starts to get really heated up, right? We get really heated up at that time from there. So we can see that through there, and that's the same thing for silver as well too. So silver's actually just holding here really nicely right now, which is actually really, really, really nice. So we're possibly going to start, I do see silver eventually getting back up towards the 34 level there, because 34 is indeed that next level of resistance up through there. So possibly through there. So that 34, maybe even a bit higher, maybe even somewhere up through there. Right, 34, 35, somewhere around about there. So that's why I do see gold possibly making another move soon out of that through there. Now, let me show you something here, guys. The big thing that I'm noticing right now is like this. I was looking at the equity curve recently. The equity curve. I was looking at my equity curve. I was looking at the yield curve, right? The yield curve, and notice this through here. So this is the actual yield curve from here, and you can see here a few things, right? So the first thing you can see, actually, you can see that they're both basically the same thing, but so I'll just focus on this one right here, okay? So I'll focus on this one right here. Now, what do you notice here, right? This is the yield curve. This is going back over since 1970s. And what do you notice? You notice that obviously these gray bars through here, guys, are recessions, right? Recession here, recession, and so on and so forth. But what else do you notice from here? What else do you notice? You notice what? You notice that it's when, let's just call it the zero line, when we get below it, the seeds have been sown, right? But when we start to get above it, guess what? We actually go into recession, right? Like here, we're below it, but as soon as we got above it, it was like maybe 6 to 12 months before what? Before the recession. We got below it, we got up above it, and it was what? Another 6 to 12 months, somewhere out there, before the recession. We got below it. As soon as we get back above it, same thing, right? Below it, same thing there with COVID. And what's happening right now, right? So if we see right now, we're not actually even above the line, right? So we look at the 5 year, we're not even above this line yet. Let's see. I'm just going to go back over time. Right, so you can see here, right, we get below it, and as soon as we start to get back above it and we start to really climb up, that's what happens through there, right? So what's that, October? Yeah, this one here was actually about 6 months before it actually, when this actually started to get back above, then we started to go through there. So if we go through to here, we need to get this back above the zero line, and then once we do, guess what? Then the seeds have been sown from that level from there. So this is a sort of a big indicator that I'm watching for, guys, right now. And the same for this one down the bottom here as well too, the 10 to 2 year spread. And looking at this yield curve as well too, same sort of thing, right, guys? You can see here when we get below it, same like back here in the 90s, below it. As soon as we get back above it and we start to climb, we go into recession. Below it, above it, below it, and so on and so forth. So I hope this helps you out there today, traders. Traders, if you'd like to learn exactly my trading strategy and how I trade the markets, that find A quality trades that produce a really high win-loss ratio, that first link in the description there, guys, go click on that and you can actually go join my next webinar, and I'll teach you all the details for free on my next webinar, which is all the details to my trading system. And if you'd like to join my coaching program, I've got 2 spots left for the rest of this year. Then that second link in the description there, guys, go click on that, fill out the application form, and I will personally call you to see if you're a good fit. Speak to you soon, guys.